Why can't I fire you?
Because I'm your wife. You can't fire me. We in this together.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
You are tuned into the Thursday podcast featuring
Your Lady the Her.
Your Lady the Her and the H-double Hark Henry, and Peanut Butter's over there playing with his toys, but we ain't gonna let that stop our shine today. So we'd like to welcome you to our closeout episode as we try to close out season 4. Season ran a little bit longer than I had planned. Real life kicks in, and sometimes we have to take a slight hiatus.
Yeah, so thank you for your patience
you.
and, staying with us.
Stand with us, even though the Her doesn't stay with us long. But
Life be life.
life be life, and it's all good. It's all good. We're happy to be here. We're happy that you're tuning in. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe, depending on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on. And make sure to follow us on our social medias, and make sure you follow our sponsor, Sons of SP Phillips, at www.sonsofspphillips.com, where they sell designer and name brand new and slightly used clothing for men and women at sonsofspphillips.com. You get 70% off every day, and any order over $45 gets free shipping. Free shipping. So we're just going to jump right into these episodes. We're going to kind of go over them, just bring it all together. Our first episode last year was just our opening, which was just us. And, we do our opening, we do our exit episodes. Go ahead and tell us, our second episode was with who?
Samantha Montpetit Hugh.
Coach Sam.
Yeah, that's much easier. Yeah. Coach Sam. And our topic was menopause, right?
Yes.
Healthier today and healthier more tomorrow.
Right. So season 4 was all about in sickness and in health, as we kind of did a deep dive into certain topics relative to those wedding vows, and we just kind of dug in them. So we kind of did an episode on menopause with Coach Sam, which was really good, and Coach Sam has a lot going on. Coach Sam has a website and she does women retreats. She's like a physical trainer, right?
Yeah.
Yes, she's a physical trainer and she's a coach, and she just kind of helps women with their transition to menopause. She definitely enlightened me on some things as we're getting older and what women's needs are, what they're going through. So it was a great episode. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what perimenopause was, but I found out what that was. And it was a really good conversation, and I hope that my wife gets a chance to visit on one of their retreats too. Wasn't it Costa Rica?
Yeah.
So
goodness, the year got away.
Yeah,
didn't it?
It's been a whole year. It's been a whole year. Our second episode was with who?
Dr. Donna.
Dr. Donna down in Florida.
Yes.
That conversation on menopause got so deep, it was 2 parts.
Yeah.
It went on and went on. Dr. Donna was great. She is a retired.
Yeah, because I was like, my grandma, my aunt moved, and are you accepting new patients? And she had to, I'm retired. I'm like, oh, you did say that.
She's like, sorry.
Oh, she did.
Yeah. But both of them really gave some good insight on women of color and not being properly diagnosed when it comes to menopause, and even when it comes to
treatments,
being treatment in the hospital and things like that. So we had a really good conversation about that. And again, Dr. Donna really elaborated on menopause and how to navigate it. And she is called the Gynae Guru. So you can see the website there, and you can follow her on her social medias and her website. And if you holler at her, she will definitely holler back. So if you have some questions, reach out to her. And the next episode was
Erectile Dysfunction Doesn't Mean You're Broken with Dr. Quentin Cancel.
Cancel. Yeah. Dr. Cancel and that was just
Yeah, I wasn't there for that.
Yeah, she didn't want to talk about erectile dysfunction. But we were just kind of working on both sides of the spectrum when it came to men and women. And I thought that was a great topic for men who are getting older and going through their own types of changes. And for some men, erectile dysfunction is a real thing. And Dr. Cancel is a licensed, certified urologist. So he's a real doctor. And when I talked to him, he just told me he had a surgery, a procedure earlier that day. So he went into detail in that. He really touched on some things about erectile dysfunction. It's not just that your man parts don't work. There's got to be a reason. Whether that reason is medical or psychological, he kind of went into that. If it's medical, he said, that's when you see him. If it's psychological, there could be some hidden trauma from your past that could be affecting you. And it could be anything from experience porn at a very young age, which is something we discussed. It could be some type of sexual assault when you were a child or something to that effect. It could be a lot of things that could cause erectile dysfunction. It can also be a chemical problem. So if you're smoking a lot of weed or doing drugs or alcoholism, that can cause erectile dysfunction as well. And we also really got into the conversation about the sexualization of the black man.
And by the way, it wasn't that I didn't want to be there. You were here for the menopause discussion. I just was unavailable. Thank you very much.
Whatever. Anyway, so what Dr. Cancel elaborated on was how the industry, in the movies and things like sexualize black men, and just how a lot of times we fall up under that umbrella and just like sometimes something is like we have to live up to. And he used example like, hey there, big man. When people say that, when it comes to porn, they sexualize the BBC and things like that. And in the everyday world, people who are into those things, they kind of can put that burden on us, and some men can fall asunder to it, and it can affect you mentally, especially if you're trying to live up to it and thinking that our sexual prowess is just conquers everything. But it was a good conversation, so you definitely need to check it out. We had a disagreement on a couple things there, but that was okay. That's what men do. We disagree, but we're still brothers at the end of the conversation. Next one,
Cutting Loose with Tamara Kincaid.
Tamara Kincaid, you wasn't in on that discussion either. You abandoned me.
Oh my goodness. Life be lifing.
Life be lifing. Tamara is a good friend of mine from way, way back. I used to have her daughter in the summer camps I used to work in. And Tamara was brave enough to come on and talk about how she's been losing her hair how she lost her hair these last couple years. And we thought it was like just due to menopause. I think that was a part of it, but there were some other things going on. And, she just got to the point where she just let it go. And she said sometimes she'll wear a wig or whatever, but sometimes she just wants to be free. Mm-hmm. The conversation was a great conversation. And she went on and talked about how her daughters consider her brave and consider her a hero, and really, really look up to her for being her true self.
It looks good on her, too.
Yeah, it does. Mm-hmm. It does. I've known her for a long time, and I think she was losing it back when I knew her, because I knew her daughter when she was 8, 9, 10. And I think she's mid-20s now.
You old.
Yeah, I am. That's all right. We went from in sickness and in health, and we kind of talked about it on the physical side. So we were talking about menopause, erectile dysfunction, my friend losing her hair. So we was kind of talking about that. And we also, again, how it challenges relationships and your marriage. And for us, so that's getting a little older, some things that you can look out for and how to be more empathetic when your spouse is going through these certain things. So we went from the physical side straight to the spiritual side. So what was the next episode?
Go ahead and tell them.
It was... So after Tamara, it was episode 6 with a cousin of mine down from Alabama, Bishop Lawrence Harkless. That was a very good episode. He's the bishop of Kingdom Seekers Worship Center. And is he in Mobile? I don't remember. But he lives in the city where the fight was on the pier, where they were fighting the white people.
Oh,
that's the city he lives in. Yeah, I think it's Mobile. Don't quote me on that. I know it's in Alabama. But
Oh, I forgot about that.
we don't forget about that. Cousin Lawrence came on and really gave his insight about what he tells some of his members before they get married. And he's upfront with them. He says he has a 6-point course, and he goes over certain things. And he'll tell them right up, I don't think you guys are compatible.
Oh.
And yeah, because he'll tell them, like, he won't tell them not to do it, but he'll tell them, there's things you have to work on. And for example, he had a couple, and I believe the woman had a very high-profile job. I think she might have been a lawyer or whatever, but his job wasn't as high-profile. And he told him straight up, he said, I know what kind of money she makes. Are you okay with that? Even though it should not be an issue, but for some men,
It is.
that is an issue. And I guess that was something that they had to step back on and work through. But he's upfront, and he just kind of just tells them what you should be doing as far as your spiritual walk with God and getting married. And sometimes we don't always start the relationships right.
Yeah.
We're all human. We're not perfect. We just seek perfection. And he said, as a minister, I didn't always do things right, but I'm a better man today, and I can definitely respect that. And that's why we had such a great conversation. Episode 7 was with Dr. Naila Ali, she's a minister. Dr. Naila Ali, she's a speaker, a spiritual advisor is what she was, and she went on for hours. She touched on some stuff. I don't think I said 5 words in the whole conversation.
She had to get the knowledge out.
Yeah, she did. She did. She really got it out about following God, seeking God as her father, and obeying His will, and trying, doing your best to follow through. And she said, just kind of had a message for the ladies when it comes to being obedient and submissive. And that's also a conversation me and Cousin Lawrence had about being a submissive wife, as the man should love his woman as Christ loved the church, and put her on the pedestal. And you gotta love your woman like you love yourself. That's the most, those are the most important things. And we went straight into scripture, and that's something we talk about pretty often. So you've heard it before, definitely. So these next episodes, the herd was just like missing.
Well, and I had some illnesses too. Like it's been a rough year. Life be lifing.
Yeah.
But I'm here today.
Yeah, whatever. So we went from the spiritual health to mental health, and sickness and in mental health, which was very, very good. So we have a new sister, and her name is Michaela White Davis. And our conversation went so long that it had to be a 2-part. And she's actually in Columbus. I think she's back and forth between Columbus and somewhere else. But we talked about my stint working with emotionally disturbed children and how I still hate that term. And we talked about how our people don't want to get the necessary help because we feel like there's something wrong with us.
Yep.
And we suffer more from that. There's a process and a step, and we should stop listening and letting other people get into our heads when it comes to mental health. And she also, which was key, very key, advised me that the term mental health can be wrong.
Oh.
Right. And there's a difference between emotional health and mental health. Because when you're talking about mental health, you're talking about, what's she say, psychopathic behavior, things like that. That doesn't necessarily mean, I think she said it can mean bipolar, but she said we often are misdiagnosed because they're putting us all in the pigeonhole. So like, if I got something's wrong with me emotionally, you need some mental health therapy.
Okay.
What's wrong with me is not mental. You know what I'm saying? I might have some emotional things. I might have something that I need to figure out or need some understanding about. But that doesn't put it under mental health. But they just throw it under that umbrella, and a lot of people get misdiagnosed. So the bipolar might fit into that. I could be wrong, but that's okay. And she also suggested an associate of hers, which was Mr. Brandon Willis, where we really went to a deep dive as far as men in our culture. And we agreed to disagree on a couple things. The one thing we discussed is how men in our community think it's okay to talk about serious issues with their barber, and they think they're okay.
Yeah.
That's not okay. But then again, on the other side, he said, at least they're talking to somebody. And I said, yeah, but they still need to be schooled by a licensed professional because your barber could be going through the same thing, and he's just giving his take. He's not giving you a professional outlook on what the problem is that you can process internally and move with it accordingly. So we really went into that, and we were just talking about men and when it comes to mental health. And he and I were going at it pretty good. Brandon's a good guy. His information's here, and if you want to talk to either one of them, you can find them on psychology.com. Is that the website?
I don't know, babe.
Yeah. So it's a website where all therapists are on. I think it's psychology.com. You can look them up. You can find them. And again, if you reach out to them, they will hit you back.
But we can look it up and pop it.
Yeah, we'll pop it.
Is that the right term? Pop it?
Pop it in there. It's in there. All right. So closing it out. Who was our next guest?
It was Ministry, Marriage, and Wellness.
With the
Oh, yes. That was a great conversation.
With Lady K and Pastor Brother.
Man. Oh my gosh.
Hey.
They are hilarious.
They are our family from Florida. And like I said, when they want to come up, we got a room for them and we can hang out. I call him Pastor Brother. Me and him get on TikTok and we just go at it. Kay is hilarious. I don't know what's wrong with her, but she's hilarious.
That was a very good conversation.
Yes. And we, again, from a ministers and a first lady to speak, they had some very candid information for everyone about relationships, about their relationships, some of the things they dealt with. And she also did explain like how she had some issues when she was in the hospital. And how she was treated, and how our black women get misdiagnosed, and that's something that we really have to be concerned about. Something we have to watch out for our women, because a lot of places think just because black women that they can handle certain things that other women can't, and that's not true. And that's across the board when it comes to being diagnosed for breast cancer and any other illnesses, and we get misdiagnosed or we get left out in the cold on a lot of things. And our death rates are a little bit higher than everybody because of that. So watch out, ladies. Get a second opinion. Fellas, protect your woman. Ask those questions.
Yeah, and if she's afraid to speak up
Speak
on her.
for her.
Yeah.
Sickness and health. And lastly, in the Garrisons, Pastor Brother is the minister of the Citadel Family Church down there in Florida. I think they're in Tampa, right?
I don't have my notes.
Yeah, I don't have my notes either. We're winging this because we got food upstairs cooking.
I smell it.
Yes, I'm ready to eat. And lastly,
we were keeping up with the Joneses, Pastor Keith and First Lady Stephanie of the Purpose Center Church.
And they spoke on what a marriage needs to be spiritually healthy. Great. Again, another great. Yeah. We had some really cool guests coming here.
We did.
Man. Yeah. So we attend the Purpose Center Church off and on here in Columbus, Ohio. You can visit on their website and on social media. And Pastor Keith, and she told me don't call her First Lady.
Mm-hmm.
And
Stephanie.
Yeah, and I repeatedly call her that in this episode, man. I thought she was going to beat me up. They're really laid back. Very laid back, down to earth. Mm-hmm. And for some people, that's a good representation of how a church is supposed to flow. You know, a lot of churches you go to, the ministers are kind of up here and they got all these other people underneath them and you got to talk to them before you can get to the minister and things like that. And sometimes that can push people away. Yeah. I've watched my dad as a minister, and he rarely had assistant pastors, but he did have some eventually, but nobody had to go through them to get to him. My father was accessible, and an accessible minister, pastor, preacher is a great thing. Somebody who's down to earth, somebody who understands.
It's open door.
Open door.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Minister Stephanie, because I can't call her First Lady, because she is a minister.
Yes, she is.
She's a minister.
Yep.
She's also a psychiatrist, right?
Yes.
Right. And she's also on the website psychiatry.com. And
we'll have to look that up and give you the put it up or whatever the term, whatever the kids are saying these days.
Right. And also, she's also somebody you can reach out to, and she will hit you back. The one good thing that, the one dope thing that he said about relationships, they always end because of what?
Being selfish.
Being selfish. He said, if you got a money problem, selfish. He said, if it's a problem with sex, so you don't want to do this or they want to do this, selfish. You don't want to communicate, you don't want to talk because you're being selfish. And he broke it down to so many aspects, and it made sense because we see it a lot now.
Yep.
Soon as we see somebody going through it, it's like, selfish. Going through it again. Selfish. So why ain't you and why'd y'all get divorced? Oh, because he or she didn't want to do it. They were selfish. Yeah. So being selfish, I'll admit, being married requires you to be selfless.
Yeah. And if you're both being selfless, then ultimately you're getting what you need from your partner.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. If you're stepping out on your spouse, you're cheating because you're selfish. You rather step outside the home than communicate to them that, hey, we have an issue, or hey, there's something else I need, or whatever the issue is. You take it upon yourself to solve the issue by yourself. That's being selfish. In our marriage, I knew early on that I had to take myself out of the equation on a lot of things. And with that, we have to communicate. Sometimes a lot of times it got hard to do that, but that was me being selfish. And I had to come out of that cocoon after a while. And sometimes it comes back. And
we're always a work in progress.
Yeah, and she reminds me. Last time she reminded me, and I had to step back. I said, "Yeah, man, I'm being selfish at what's going on here, and I've got to change it, and I've got to handle it because I can't have my wife walking in the wilderness of sadness or despair. That's not what I do. I'm supposed to, as a man, as a husband, I'm supposed to protect my wife, and I'm supposed to take care of my wife, and that's where we lose out because protecting and taking care of your spouse isn't about money. Mm-hmm. You can help her mentally, you can help her emotionally.
Yep.
You can help her spiritually. As a leader, that's what you're supposed to do. Now, it might be some things beyond your hands that you can't do, but again, that's where communication comes in, and you talk about it. I say, hey, I think maybe we might need to seek some kind of counseling, or maybe you
or you
might need to get some help, this, that, and the other. Another great conversation, but the Thursday podcast is doing great and big things, and we're going to continue to bring you the message of real love, real life, and real talk, and we're going to continue to be spiritually based no matter what we talk about, because we keep God first in our marriage, we keep God first in our everyday. Some of the topics we talk about, you might say, hey, what does that have to do with marriage? Or what does that have to do with relationships? Like I said, real love, real life, and real talk. There's a lot of things going on in this world that we have to talk about, especially before you get married or bring someone else into your space in your home, regardless what it is. So that's why we talk about the topics we talk about when it comes to menopause, when it comes to erectile dysfunction. A few seasons ago when I was talking about domestic violence, these are things that might be in somebody's past, present, or future that you have to get out and open. And we're trying to bring out the message to help you understand what that is and help you and your spouse have a healthy and loving relationship.
So thank you for your ears and tuning in for 2025. We're excited to start the new season in 2026.
Yeah, you know what the new season is going to be about?
Your mom. You never tell me anything.
It's going to be called Keeping Love. No, what did I say? I was working on it today. Putting love back on track. So we're going to be talking to a lot of newlyweds.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
I want Zorn. I want my brother Z. I want
our contact that we made in Vegas.
Oh yeah, we got to get them. What's our guy that does our taxes? Vincent. They've been wanting to come on. So it's going to be a lot different. It's going to look a lot different in season 5, and I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait. So I got to get Z, and he doesn't have a choice. I'm not taking him seriously, so I don't care what he says. And I'm going to find some more newlyweds, and I'm going to find some people who've been married a long time, because they would have valuable information from newlyweds. So what should be the limit? Should it be like 2-3 years? Because we've been married 7 or 8, right?
You don't know.
Look at my finger.
Cheating.
8 years. So anything 8 years or less, we're going to consider a newlywed. We might get somebody on here who's been.
Why not 5 or less? Anyway, we'll figure
Five
it
or
out.
less. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll have a great season for you. Continue to follow us on our social medias. Like I said, not Sons of SPP. The Two Harks. Did I say Sons of SPP in the beginning?
I don't know.
Man, whatever. The Two Harks. Look for the Two Harks on any platform, Facebook and IG. So continue to look for us. Just look for the Two Harks and whatever podcast platform you're listening to. Just continue to follow, subscribe, and support us. Hit us up if you have any questions, if you have any ideas, if you want to be on, and you got something to talk about, holla at me. So in the meantime,
thank you for your ears.
is that peanut butter barking?
Yes.
Let me go check on him before he tears something up. So, like she said, thank you for your ears, and also, each and every day, keep God first and continue to pray along the way. Thank you.